Hi everyone, welcome. Hope you are having a great day today. Welcome to this talk. Today we are going to talk about how to create delightful experiences for your camera and media use cases for your apps. Let's begin. I'm Mayuri. I'm a developer relations engineer in the Android media team at Google. And with me, we have Kristina, who's the engineering manager in the media team at Google. So welcome you all. Camera and media are one of those core user experiences that can drive billions of users on Android. And as app developers, you have the power to build these experiences for your users and delight them. And that's what we'll be going to see in this talk today. So your users in this new era of the last 3-4 years of social media and other media experiences, your users want to enjoy their content more deeply. They also want more ways to express creatively their content. And finally, they also want to connect with others and have these intelligent experiences around them. So to cater a lot of these new innovative use cases, we have a lot of new cool APIs and experiences that you can build for your users. And how do you do that? You use these two Jetpack libraries to build that. A quick show of hands, how many of you already use these apps? These libraries? Okay, there are a lot. For those of you who have not already used or not already migrated, hopefully this talk will make you believe on what experiences are you missing out and then come in. So Jetpack camera and media libraries, top 50% of apps are using these libraries. So they're already top app, big apps using this in production and giving you the value add that this is valuable and you can also start using them in your app. We are trying to give you an end-to-end user experience with camera, which is capture and edit, and more of playback, which is editing, sharing, playback, all of that. So this is like an end-to-end camera and media experience for your apps. So let's begin with camera. When it comes to social media, capturing and sharing those special moments is the primary use case all of us use our phones for. Let's start with beginning with camera. We have a variety of different tools with camera. First, we have access to advanced system camera features. You also have access to CameraX features, which is a Jetpack library, so giving you more flexibility to integrate. And finally, you have all these libraries built with modern APIs with Kotlin and Jetpack Compose to give you all the performance flexibility that you want. For camera, we also have these extension APIs. All these effects are really cool. Try to use them in your app. And it's all available with Camera 2 and CameraX both. So it's giving you all that flexibility. Very cool effects. Do try it out. Some more advanced use cases. For example, for the streaming use case for video capture, we all have the default video capture use case that we are aware of. But you also have so many more use cases in the video capture app. So these, you can try and explore these options. For example, if you use the video calling option, it will save you more battery space than the default option. So variety of options for you to choose from. This is the difference between the default mode and the video call mode. All of these experiences that I shared are available in Socialite, which is our hero sample app. So if you want to try it out for fun, see how it looks, analyze your battery performance, all of that, do give this app a try. Let's go more deeper. Want to do more cool effects in your app? You can use the use case group builder to create either one or multiple of these effects together on your capture stream and even post that. For example, to begin with a simple effect, you can apply a grayscale effect, like a black recording, black-white recording on your app. And this you can do with just one line of code, setting the use case group builder and the right effects on it. So as simple as that, just one line of code to give you multiple effects during your capture stream. Even more cool and advanced effect is the green screen effect, and this is one of my favorite effects. It gives you a concurrent camera and selfie segmentation. That means you can use the back camera and the front camera at the same time, and also segment your own use case, your own selfie, your own image as a selfie, and then have a cool effect with it. And you can also use a secondary use case builder, like an advanced use case, to stitch all this together. You can also use this API specifically to have your selfies segmented out so that both streams can be combined together. And a more detailed use case, this is the pipeline that will follow. Now, all this has been explained in detail in a talk, which Kristina will share later on, so you can really go there, check it out, and create more cool use cases using this in your app. And this is how finally it will look like. You're able to create a selfie, 2 camera streams at the same time, and also separate out a selfie out of it. Really cool tech with very simple APIs to use. Do check it out. One more cool use case that you can use is low light builder, low light boost. We all capture photos at night, but we also want them to be nice looking and not dark. If, as an app, I'm not able to capture a clear low light picture in the app, in the context of the app, I go back to the system camera and do that. But if you really don't want to lose the context of your own app, use these APIs to give them a full good experience on their camera stream. And it's really simple to do that. There are multiple options in low light boost that we are offering, so you can adopt which one is flexible for you and which is not. And it all operates on real-time processing. You can clearly see the difference between these 2 images in your app. Now, there are multiple low-light boost options that we give in terms of flexibility for you as to what is suitable for your app. So you can explore all of these different options that works for you. Yeah, and this is the simple code snippet for low light boost that we are giving. It just shows you how simple and easy it is for you to check it out. If it's available, then do something. If it's not available, then use the other module. But combined together, the code is simple enough for you to integrate it. Now we did some cool camera use cases. Let's move more to the playback use cases and how do your users can actually view content on your app. With playback, we have a lot of these new cool releases that have come in that can give you more practical functionality, more efficiency to your app. One of these, let's begin with, so all these are available in the Exoplayer module in the Media3 library. The Media3 will have a lot of different modules to do with, but today we are really looking at how you can actually create those unique experiences for your users, and these are some of the features we would highly, highly recommend you to use. For example, let's start with scrubbing mode. With just one flag that you can set in your code, you can really see the difference in performance between the regular one and when you have scrubbing enabled. This really small tweaks can help increase your user delightness that you give. Small features, but really, really powerful, so do try to check them out. And this scrubbing has been a pain point for a while, so we are glad we are able to now help you with this. One more cool feature is short-form content, and all of us are like really hooked on to short-form content for the past few years. And as app developers, we face it really challenging to adapt to those dynamic feeds and dynamic needs of users. So for that, we have a new concept of preloading media. So basically, you're preloading multiple chunks of videos even before they are loaded. And for short-form videos specifically, your startup latency is challenging because you're constantly scrolling down and you have to constantly keep loading new videos. It's also very dynamic as per the user preferences, so it's not a fixed playlist that you want to play around with, but very dynamic. And it's also very, very small video durations, not long enough so that you have enough time for buffering and loading. To solve all these challenges, we have new preloading APIs with Exoplayer. Either you can use the simpler one, which is preload configuration, which works on a playlist. So you have a linear list of items that you know which one is next. Typically for an episode type of use case, wherein multiple episodes have to be loaded one after the other, you can use the preload configuration. If not, you also have the preload manager, which is for a more dynamic short-form video style. And this is really cool. Sorry, I really wanted to play that video. Let's see. OK, no worries. That video was really trying to show you the difference when you use Preload Manager and when not. So the before-after video is really cool to play around. Is playing? Okay. Okay, cool. So coming forward to some more features, we've heard that Compose UI is important and you've adopted to Compose. So within Playback also, we are giving you that support. So now it gives you more flexibility, more plug and play features, more independence to which features to use and how in your different UI modules. So do check out our Compose for media playback, which gives you all these facilities. This library is still in active development. So if you have more feedback for us, do share that with us and try it out. And this is the simple new player surface that we are giving you for Compose playback. And these are really plug and play modules, which is what we want to encourage with the new UI structure for ExoPlayer. Some more cool features, server-guided ad insertion. We all play ads in our playback, in our content, and there are multiple ways that you can insert ads for your users. One is the client-side ad. Second is server-side ad insertion. And really a mix of two is the new one, which is server-guided ad insertion. It gives you a lot more flexibility between client-side and server-side, and it also supports HLS interstitials loader now. So you can use this API to do server-guided ad insertions within your app. This also has been a long ask from developers, so we are glad we can bring this to you now. Also, one new cool feature is frame extraction. We all have extracted frames from our videos. It could be thumbnails or some other use cases, but now we also have HDR frame extractions. As our devices keep getting better, our screens are better, we are viewing more higher quality content. Why should our extractor be low quality? So we are getting HDR frame extraction now. Make use of this API. This also supports HDR as an input. It's also compatible with Media3 effects. So when you're extracting your frame, you can also insert effects within the same pipeline. So you can make your experience even more cool and not just extract the same thing that's on your video stream. And this is also faster on some devices since it uses the GPU. So all these new APIs, very cool, very efficient, both for performance, both for your user experience. Do try to check them out. And this is the code for frame extraction. Again, just a few lines of code wherein you're setting HDR frames. And it also supports Media3 effects. So you can also insert effects that we saw earlier, which is the grayscale effect on all these effects on your frames. So it's not only for your video stream, it's also for an image capture that you can do through these streams. One more new API, we always had the frame extraction, the Media3 retriever and extractor modules for getting different metadata out of your video. Now all these are also available in Media3, and they have feature parity with the platform APIs that you used earlier. So as developers, your code doesn't change a lot. There's very low effort from your side, but these are now more performant and more intelligent to give you more data as you want it. So use all these new parameters to really build that immersive experience for your users. With that, I would like to invite Kristina to enlighten us more on the editing features.
Thank you, Mayuri. Next, sorry. Hi, so next, Media3 editing. Yes, I hope you're excited. So my name is Kristina. I'm leading Android media editing team, and today I want to talk about Media3 editing APIs. So with editing APIs, we want to provide developers with APIs so you can build your features easily without going into media domain knowledge. Our APIs support several use cases, such as converting between file formats, downscaling, for example, tone mapping from HDR to SDR. We also support built-in effects, and I will cover all of this later today, as well as cropping video frames and dropping frames. So our key goals with media editing APIs are to make APIs easy, performant, and reliable. So how are we going to do this? I will go into details. So first of all, the APIs are available starting API level 23 and up. And so how do we achieve these goals? So how do we make it easy? We want to provide high-level APIs. So as I said, you don't need to go into domain knowledge. You don't need to spend hours and hours and read a lot of books about different media codecs and so on. We're gonna do this for you. And then we only also want performance. So transformer as API, I will cover this later. We want to optimize as much as possible. So we try to transmax, which I also cover later, as much as possible. So as we try to do as less processing as possible so you can retain the quality of your content. And then reliable. We test on many devices weekly, and we also try to handle any device-specific issues. So for instance, there are some devices that might have an issue with this video format and another, so we cover those as part of our APIs. A little bit more on device testing. So as you know, Android ecosystem is very fragmented. So that's why every week we are testing on over 170 real devices, our APIs that we built for the whole week. And we also, it's including Android Auto, Wear, and TV. So you are covered here. One other note is that we also test on unreleased devices, so devices that are about to be released, so you're covered here as well. So when those devices are coming out, it's likely our APIs already have any workarounds that needs to be done. Or we test our APIs on those new devices to make sure that everything is working smoothly. So what is editing API? So I mentioned transformer. So we have several modules in Media3. If you worked with Media3 before, probably you've worked with Exoplayer. So we have Media3 transformer, that's one module. It contains transformer APIs, which is the entry point to any editing operations, especially export. Composition player is for preview. I will cover this in a few slides. We have Media3 effects, so built-in effects, and we have Media3 Maxer. So editing. Maybe some of you have in your apps some editing functionality, and or even you have been using apps probably like Instagram or Google Photos. So any editing journey is when you build something, you want to preview your creation. And then you might do some edits, like add an effect, remove an effect, trim and stuff. And then you want to preview it again. So it repeats until you're happy. And then you make a final export. So the Media3 editing APIs offers different components for each of those steps. So for building, we have composition, a data structure. I will cover this in the next slide. A composition player API is for preview your creation, and transformer API is for export. So let's look into details on that. So composition object is basically the core structure of our API. So you need to learn about composition before you do anything. So that's where we are starting here now as well. So what's composition is defining the arrangement of media items in your video. But before we jump into composition, I need to go into a bit more detail. So if you worked with Exoplayer before, you are very familiar with media item. So media item is your raw media. Basically, it's URI to your image or your video. And then edited media item is a container that has media item and effects we want to apply. By effects, I mean audio processors or audio effects and video effects. So moving on. Or not. Mayuri, I need you here for the authentication. All good. Okay, technical difficulties. Who has not seen that before? Anyways, moving on. Effects. So I mentioned we have the effects module. Very quickly about effects. So we have built-in effects like crop, lookup tables, and effects, drop effect, frames, sorry. And we have also, based on that, on our effects, on built-in effects, you can also create custom effects that are more flexible and high performant and low memory. So, to talk about the very important topic these days is machine learning, AI, and Gen AI. So I want to cover this as well. So we have LightRT integration, or one of the samples in Social Light app that Mayuri already also shared. Feel free to check this out. This is the integration with LightRT. If you are curious about MediaPipe, we have it also part of the demos as part of the Media3 repository. You can check that out. And also, if you're very curious, we are currently working on something with Gemini. And I didn't include it in my talk, but if you're curious, please come and see me. I will show you something that's called vibe effect. I hope you're excited. And then, yes, and we covered the effects, because I will not cover this today, but we covered a lot about effects and how you can use Media3 built-in effects for both CameraX, editing and preview. So please check it out. Here's the link. And let's move on. So let's move on to our composition and our core structure. It's not that simple. So we have one edited media item, we have effects. We need to arrange it in the time. So that's why we create edited media item sequence. So for this simple example, we're just putting it in one item in one sequence. But if you imagine Google Photos app and memory sharing, you can share several video clips at the same time. You probably have these prompts all the time as well from Google Photos. And that's, you will have edited media item, you will have like 10 or 5 of those in part of edited media item sequence. So, and that's also how it looks in code. Next. And now we finally got into composition. So composition is our data structure that can contain from one media item to multiple edited media item sequences. You can have as many as you want. So in this presentation, I will share a little bit more about how you build more complex compositions. So, and that's how it looks in code. So as you see, composition, we use a builder pattern, and we add a sequence. If we have several, we would add a second one here. So, back to the editing journey. So we learned about composition, our data structure, and now let's look at preview. So composition player preview. One note, I don't know if Julie is here. Anyway, so one note, compose and composition player. So basically, composition player is not Excel player on compose. That's one note I want to give. I know maybe the naming is unfortunate for some of you, but this is a little bit different. Composition player is for preview of edits. Let's move on to preview. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, so preview in composition player. Since 1.9, which is now in alpha, we have added experimental API notation, which means that you as a developer can opt in to use these APIs already now. And we encourage you to test it out. And if you're interested to use it, or if you have any feedback, please come and find me after the talk. I'm very interested in connecting with developers who want to use this. So, moving on. So why do you want to use Composition Player? So Composition Player provides you real-time preview of complex media edits or compositions. It's built upon Media3 player interface, so if you used ExoPlayer before, it's very familiar. And this will unite the preview and export for your final export view. So it means that the composition you are previewing, you should get the same output as you are previewing. So, moving on. So you might ask, but I already use Exoplayer. Like, what's the difference? So as I said, it's not Exoplayer and Compose, but that's one. The main reason is the use case. So if you are just generally using this for playback, so like show a video and stuff, you don't want to do any edits, you don't want to apply any effects, Exoplayer is the best option for you. If you have, like, for example, a single item or a playlist, Exoplayer is the best option. For composition player, it's mainly, the main purpose is when you want to add it. When you want to edit your media files and you want to preview it in real time, and maybe you want to use it later for export. So one other big difference with Composition Player and Exoplayer, if you know, so in Exoplayer we have set video effects API call. So when you call set video effects, you actually apply an effect on all the items in your playlist. So in a way, you're applying effect on the whole player. While in Composition Player, you don't apply effects on the player, you apply effects on edited media item or on the whole composition. So that's the main difference. So in code, again, if you are familiar with Exoplayer, this is not something you have not seen before. We use a builder pattern to create composition player, and we set our composition and prepare and play. That's pretty much it, what you need to do. As I said, it's available as experimental API, and what is working now? So single asset. So for example, if you're editing a single asset, a single video, trimming, cropping, applying effects, both export and preview is working pretty much stable. Then video and image sequence and arbitrary audio background track is also working for both export and preview. It should be quite stable and ready to go into production if you want. And also we support HDR here. So if your input is HDR and you want to retain the HDR format, both Composition Player and Transformer is supporting HDR. So moving on. You can check our Socialite app again for more details on how to integrate Composition Player for single asset. And here is the other one, Media3 Composition, short link to our Media3 demos, where you can learn about a bit more advanced cases. So, what's in progress? So the team is actively working to add new capabilities. So for example, picture-in-picture and arbitrary videos, number of video sequences. So this is one of the examples we are working on, how to create those. Second one, picture-in-picture side-by-side rendering, crossfades and dynamic effects updates. So crossfades is, this is the demo of the crossfade. So, quickly moving on to export. It's also quite straightforward. So Transformer APIs for export. When you're happy with your composition, how it looks in preview, you can use Transformer API. How does it look in code? So Transformer, we use a familiar builder pattern. And we add a listener, which is a listener that will give you either if there are any errors or when the export completed. And then we start Transformer with our composition and the output path where we expect our file to be. So, how to create complex compositions, as I promised, because so far I showed you very simple ones. So current API, as I said, we can offer you to make several videos in a sequence and then add a background audio track. And this is working exceptionally good. And this is how it would look like in a usual, if you think about video editing app, this is how it will look like. I mean, this is an illustration. So, what's in progress? And in this talk, I want to show you how to create something that is picture-in-picture, still in progress, but you can test it already. So, let's see. So, picture-in-picture, as I said. For this, we need actually 2 edited media item sequences, and they should go in parallel, with 1 edited media item in each. So, how does it look in code? Video sequence 1 has the first video, video sequence 2 has the second video, and then composition, basically a list of our video sequences. And the important part here, when we are working with multiple sequences with video, is to set video compositor settings. So here I call it pip setting, we're setting it here, and in the next slide, so in the next slide, we are defining video composition settings. We need to override a get overlay settings, and here it depends on your input ID. So for the first, for the one with 0, we are providing floating overlay setting, and for the others, which is the first one or second one, we are providing the default setting. And then, so what is the, just to move on so floating overlay, you see we're providing for the the first one. And how does the floating overlay looks like? So here we are defining the scale of the video, overlay frame anchor, and a background frame anchor. And you can experiment with this and see what you can get out of. So this is the result. You actually don't get the animation from that code I presented, but if you look at our Media3 composition demo, you can learn how to do this composition, how to preview it in Composition Player, and how to export this video like that. And you can also learn how to render, how to export and create the compositions, like for example in Grid and so on. So check out Media3 composition, and again, if you want to add this API or add these capabilities in your app, I am very happy to talk to you and also hear your feedback and work with you on your creation. And we are getting at the end of our talk. So some resources, as we mentioned several times at this presentation. So Socialite is one of the demo apps I encourage you to check. Second, Media3 demos. So we have many. So from both Compose on Exoplayer, Effects, Composition Player, and so on. So please check it out. And then we have also developer guides where you can find more information about our APIs. Yes, that's pretty much it. Thank you, and we accept questions. Yeah.
Do you think there will be an API that allows you to make images and videos from both front and back cameras simultaneously?
Sorry.
Maybe the mic.
So, are you going to implement an API that would allow to make photos from both back and front cameras simultaneously, and maybe videos?
So we have also our DevRel team here, so I think Donovan might have an answer.
So I have very good news for you. That exists. You can do it in Camera 2 by setting things up yourself, but also CameraX supports concurrent camera. So you can either have 2 separate camera streams, keep them separate, and record them to 2 separate videos, or do with them what you wish. And then there's a new way to use it. It's called composite mode. So you can tell it which cameras you want to record from and how to composite, but you can get a picture-in-picture effect similar to what you saw. You can get side by side, and it all works, in real time with the camera. Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. So you were talking about crossfade for videos, and I'm wondering, is that there also for audio? Because for Media3, I think issue number 2 is crossfade for audio. So
Do you mean for playback or for editing?
I would love it for playback, but I guess on some devices, because they are getting really powerful, you could hack it into playback.
Sorry, you said fade in, right?
Crossfade.
Crossfade, yes.
So, yeah.
So I'm actually aware, so I'm from editing team, but I'm aware of the playback requests, feature requests on that topic. I've heard that it is possible to do, but it's really hard to do. But to answer you on editing side, for crossfades on editing in composition player, it is available now. I can show you after the talk the APIs. It is there, it is available. For ExoPlayer, unfortunately, I think it's either very hard to do or not available yet. Yeah, unfortunately, we have kind of diverted a little bit of our APIs, both ExoPlayer and Composition Player, even though we use the same basis. But yeah, that's why like it can be available in one and not available in another one. Yeah. We'll try to, because I'm aware there are several developers are asking for fades for audio in ExoPlayer, so yes.
More questions?
Was it the question or, no. Okay, just a reminder, we're here, and even if you don't want to ask question now, we're here, and also Donovan and Nevin here, and me and Mayuri. Please find us at office hours actually tomorrow as well. So if you have a question tomorrow, we're here as well.